good morning everybody. It's Emily here from Phoenix Gateway, here to do your general weekly read for the 3rd to the 9th of May. Please excuse that noise that you are hearing, but it is my dog Zeus behind me eating a bone, and he doesn't want to let it go, so I'm going to let him do that. It's probably better than that than him barking at this present moment. Okay, so I wasn't on last week. I did take a little bit of time off for myself because I have been a little bit under the weather, but definitely back on the straight and narrow now, which is good and on the mend. So let's, or before I start, okay, so I am reading using my Sacred Geometry Healing card deck. I did run a beautiful Zoom course on the weekend on a guide to working with the Sacred Geometry Healing cards, and it was fabulous. I will be putting up another link. I'll do it later in the week. I can add it onto here, but at this stage it will probably be the 29th of May, so you can join wherever you are in this in the world, because it's a 3-hour course, and it will be via Zoom. So if you have my cards, if you don't have my cards, you can buy them, and you are welcome to be a part of that workshop. Also, I have here my lab or liquid alchemy in a bottle. They have been created to work with balancing, healing, and nurturing the mind, body, and soul. They can be used for many different reasons. They have been created so they can be ingested, and there is a lot more information on them on my website. You can download a PDF on them as well. Okay, so let's get into this week's reading. Even just sitting here before I started, the two words that came to me were reflection and release, and I feel this week is definitely a week of reflecting on our past events. It's more about seeing where we've been and how far we've come, the healing that we've done around it, or the healing that we're still to do around certain aspects, and looking at it with immense gratitude. So I don't want you to look at it with resentment or guilt, because when we carry the resentment or guilt, what we're doing is really reflecting that back onto ourselves, and that's what we then start mirroring, so we're not actually releasing that aspect of ourselves. So it's more about the reflection becomes gratitude, the gratitude of saying, okay, this is what I've learned from going through these particular lessons, whether it be in our personal relationships or our work relationships. It's going to be very, very different for each and every one of them. And as we do that, we then allow ourselves to let go. You'll have to excuse my dog, Yana, who just is a nudge. But yeah, so it's more about releasing then, for the highest good of whether there's a person involved in the situation, or for yourself, or for both, because it's usually, first and foremost about ourselves, and it's a forgiveness to ourselves as well, as we then are able to release it, so that we're not carrying this on with us in our present moment and then into our future. Okay, so let's actually draw some cards and see how it aligns with what I've already said. All right, so I've got a few cards. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm definitely believe I am on track here. Okay, so the first card to come out is Owl. Okay, this is all about wisdom. One of my favorite cards of the deck, and really the reason to why this deck has been created. So there you go already. When I look at it for myself, this is reflection. Very apt as well, because it was also the passing of my mum. It was 14 years for her yesterday. So definitely the reflection. My mum, I created this deck, this Sacred Geometry deck, because of my mum. And my mum is the wise old owl, the owl of wisdom. Owl gives us greater insight into life, into what we are looking for, Owl can guide us on so many levels, and Owl has the Owl, what's the word I want? One of Owl's special abilities is to be able to see at a 360 degree view. So you have the added aspect of being able to have that insight of everything that is going on around you. So for me, it's also telling us that this is also about our intuition, because we're also using more of our senses. We're able to, get a whole worldly view of what is going on. And we can use it for our greater good. We can use it for the answers that we seek, the knowledge we are looking for, the learning we are here to do. So, and on that level, and then on my this level, then, for the example is I have such immense gratitude for my mum on all levels, and I know that she is with me at all times. You can also see that Owl has in the midst there is the Merkaba. The Merkaba is our ascension vehicle. It is here to allow us to go through that shift of that radical shift of consciousness, that activation point. And it's really, really important that the three aspects of our lives, the mental plane, the physical, and the spiritual plane are all in alignment for us then to work with our light body, being able to counter spin at the speed of light, okay? And ayahuasca, when we look at ayahuasca, we look at the grandfather medicine. It's also, it's as above, so below. It's the insights that we gain from both above perspective as well as below, because we are all part of the one. We are all connected, and this is what's so important to understand. Everything from the micro, from the small to the macro to the large, we are all connected. It is as above, so below. And the lessons that what is happening on one level is also happening on a larger scale. And we're here to learn these particular lessons. We're also here to learn that we are all connected. We are all part of this divine interplanetary, I'm even lost for words right now as I speak, but we are all connected to everything, to each other, to the trees, to the plants, to the planets, to the solar system, everything. We are all connected. And in knowing this, okay, one of the great insights, lessons, and understanding is that when we are able to learn from our lessons, when we're able to remove and release the guilt and the fear and the anger and the resentment and the hurts and the pains that we are known to hold on to, when we release all that and we actually swap it for love, for that unconditional love, when we come from our heart space, we come from that aspect of pure divine love. That is then what we're actually magnifying and we're putting out there, tenfold, 100-fold. And that is the energy that is going to create the domino effect. So each one of us is going to be able to receive that beautiful divine feeling and knowing, and it's so heartfelt. And it fills our hearts, it fills our bodies, it fills our earth, it fills the planetary system. It just fulfills everything and connects us on such a deep, deep level. Can you imagine our world if we came from just that aspect of pure love and not that fear, that or that guilt or that anger? Think about it. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. It's an inner knowing. When we look at the egg of life, this particular geometry is with us from the time of conception to the time we die. It holds within us all our blueprint of who we are. And as above, so below. We hold the universe within our bodies. We hold the universe within ourselves. What is within us is also is on the out. Okay, it is all part of a fractal geometry, and it is absolutely amazing. And it's knowing that this is already within us. This is here for us. That inner wisdom, that inner knowledge, we can gain it. It's already there. It's knowing. And when we start to release that lower ego, and we start to come from that aspect of the heart and work from the heart above, what we're going to do is start tapping in more and more to this particular knowledge. And we're going to bring it through into our daily lives. And we're going to work with it. We're going to understand it. And we're going to start seeing things from a totally different view. We're going to see it from a different bird's eye view. Doesn't matter if it's not the eagle, but I believe the eagle there and owl, there is a similarity there as well. But you're coming from the 360 degrees. You're coming from a bird's eye view, because your perception is going to change to how you see everything. And how, it's going to first and foremost start within yourself. And then it's what you're feeling in here is also what's going to end up on the larger scale. And as I said from the beginning, this is the card also that fell out. It's all about reflection, okay? All about reflection. It's about the gratitude that we hold for everything, and I mean everything we have experienced. I do believe we chose our path before we came. I do believe we chose our blueprint before we came, because we're here to learn the lessons, okay? We're here to grow and evolve. And we can only grow and evolve when we learn to reflect on our past, but also be able to release our past so that we can keep moving in our present and into our future. It is now about, as you release it as well, we're here to manifest all our dreams and desires. It's about manifesting what it is that you want to see within your reality. And when I say manifesting, I mean see it too as though it's already here. Feel it, see it, know it, write it down. Write it 1,000,000 times if that's what you need to do. But it's what we're here to do. We're here to manifest it. See it, believe it, dream it, know it, acknowledge it. Bottom of the deck is rebirth. We are going through an ascension. We are transmuting and changing our energetic fields. And, when we talk about it, the only permanency is change. 2 more cards. It is not only about our inner reflection, and for some, it's still about going deep within ourselves, okay? And it's going through that healing aspect. And we're all at on our paths, we're at different stages. So it's going to be different for everybody. But we all go through this. We all go through that inner reflection. Okay? But it's also not just about going within and attaining the knowledge and attaining, and going through that healing aspect. It's also about saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It may be that there is aspects, as we go through these shifts in life, we do want to gain knowledge. We want to learn more. We have a thirst for knowledge. We start to, as I use this quote often, Wayne Dyer, as you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When we change our perception, the things around us start to change. We're not in our box. We're out of that box. And we can see things in so many different ways. Okay? So it may be that you're ready to start learning something different, something that's probably not even in the field that you're even in. It could be something completely different, especially for those people who are going through an awakening process right now, a shift in consciousness, that awareness, a shift in awareness, because you are going through that awakening aspect. What I do recommend for you though is to maintain balance, okay? Very, very important that we, when you start finding yourself out of balance, be very, very aware of yourself being out of balance. Question why. Maybe talk to a friend, if you're really finding it hard to seek answers. But it's very important to bring yourself back to balance, because for us to, not only survive, but to thrive, we need to be balanced on all levels of our being. Because when we are, this Merkaba within us, okay, this Merkaba that sits within this shape, the egg of life, this shape in here, sits within here, okay, we are going to take off like no tomorrow. We are going to start to leave behind those lower energies, that lower ego, as we start to ascend and bring ourselves more to balance and more to that heart-centered place that we need to find. And it's okay, because we're all on this journey of life. We're all here to be a part of this three-dimensional reality. But what you will learn the more you go through this awakening is that we're not restricted by space-time, okay? When energy is fluid, energy is everywhere. We don't have to just remain here. Just because we're in the physical aspect doesn't mean that our conscious mind cannot travel to other aspects, to other areas, of our universe. We're not restricted to just being here. And this is how we also can start finding more of our answers. And what it will also do is start helping us and assisting us as we transcend, as we ascend, as we go through that big shift in our vibrational frequency. And also know that as we're doing that, whatever happens to us is also happening on a larger scale. So our earth starts to change its frequency, the Schumann's resonance, as we know it to be. And we've already been seeing it spike, and people are feeling it. So as that's got to shift, because that's all inevitable, so are we. And so is, the universe. There is a big planetary shift as well. So what a beautiful reading this week. And it's something for all of us to take in. So it is a time of reflection and release. And look after yourselves this week. Be mindful. Just nurture yourselves. And I think the bottom of the deck, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. This is all about getting in touch with that feminine aspect of who we are. It's that nurturing, that creativity, really looking after who you are, making yourself feel good, whether it is going out with a friend, going out for dinner, having a bath, getting your nails done, going for a massage, watching a feel-good movie. Whatever is good for you, that is what you need to do at this point. So have a beautiful week wherever you are, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Okay, big love to you all. Bye for now.